Good artist, copy. Great artist, steal. What are you? What is up, everybody? Chris here with another episode of How to Copy and Steal. Today, I am joined by a dope guest, but before I even get any further, I do want to do some house cleaning things. Sorry that I'm late. Better late than never. We're just traveling. It's all.
We're running on Mexican
we
time.
We got it done. But before I get forward, I want to say that this show is sponsored by a live studio. So if you are interested in doing a live show like what you're seeing here, please hit up bookalivestudio.com. It is down there. You can pause and scan that QR code. But yeah, let's get into it. Today I am joined by someone who, she's a social media strategist, but not only that, she is a mompreneur. She's a badass. She's, doing everything and anything when it comes to, like, I see her stories and she's, taking her kids to school, doing things, but then on the same hand, she's also showing up to clients, and she specializes in social media strategy. And I feel like really what she specializes in is she works with small businesses to kind of focus more on their business, whereas she takes over the social media from their perspective of just like, hey, you sit back, you focus on your business, I'll focus on your social, and we'll just build a wonderful, beautiful relationship. Today, I am joined by Jessalyn Ornelas.
Hi everyone, it's Jessalyn, your social media manager in San Diego. I'm so excited to be here.
Awesome.
This is my first time doing a podcast.
This is your first time doing a podcast?
First time.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's
That's
live.
crazy.
I'm a little bit nervous.
You know what I'm realizing? I don't think I triggered my lower third. I mean, I said my name. I introduced myself. I did my thing, but I
It's
didn't
okay.
do my lower third.
We're going with the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that you could take the time to just sit down with me and tell me a little bit about your story.
Yes.
For me, what Copy and Steal stands for is it's the idea that there's no such thing as an original idea. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Like, there's so many iterations of that quote. But really what I want to get out of this podcast, or what I want other people to get out of this podcast, is I want them to realize that no matter what phase of life you're in and you're trying to get to that next level, that your life experiences leading up to that next level really, they tee you up no matter what. Like, a lot of people, like, for instance, I use like the McDonald's analogy all the time, where like someone that works at McDonald's may feel like, I can't be a CEO, I can't be a boss, I can't get to that next level because I just got McDonald's under my thing. But they don't realize that if you work at McDonald's, there's different ways in which you can, pivot those like things that you do on a daily basis. Like, you work with people, you work with systems, complex systems. You get me? Like, it's not just like, flip a burger. Like, there are things that you have to worry about. You're cleaning, you know what I mean? Like, there are lots of little run of house things. And I want people to basically be inspired by other people's stories and see where they came from and kind of see how things led them to where they are now. And, a lot of people may think, you may need to take like a course or a class or something like that to get to that next level. But sometimes you already got the sauce within you.
I agree.
So yeah, I want to get a little bit about your backstory. Like, what did you do before social media management?
It's crazy how I got here. I didn't even think in a million years I would be doing marketing. Life is, I always say, we're students of life. We learn as we go. And like you said, the example of like an employee working at McDonald's, like, obviously maybe they don't want to be there, but that training is helping you to another step in your journey, right? So it's training you for some skills that you're going to need when you're working as an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So first, a little bit about me. I'm born and raised in San Diego. I'm only child, so like my parents, I give them all the props to them of how they raised me, like with social skills and being an entrepreneur at a young age, like always helping out with chores, and I mean, I'm Latina, so you get it. When you're Latina, you start working when you're 7.
Yep.
So, but I became a single mom at an early age. I got pregnant at 18, and I was just going through the motions of life, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I did homeschool most of high school because I was doing ballet. So I did ballet for 16 years. And so I was just going through life and became pregnant. And I was doing, at the time, medical interpreting. So I was studying for that.
That's total like left field. That's crazy.
Totally off for marketing.
What is medical interpreting? Like
okay, so I speak Spanish and English, so I'm bilingual. So I help LEP patients that don't know how to communicate to a doctor that speaks English. I'm like the interpreter in between them. And this can be via Zoom or in person, where you just are literally talking for the patient and vice versa to the doctor, to the patient. Yeah. So I was doing that, and I didn't really like it. I tried it. I got certified. Wasn't my thing. I did personal training, so I was like training girls from my school to do like gym sessions, helping them with their physique.
Wait, how long were you doing the medical interpretation before you switched off?
I did it for like a year, and then it was like I was transitioning from being a personal trainer, working from home as a medical interpreter, and then I was like, no, I switched off to just being a stay-at-home mom at the time.
Yeah.
And this, keep in mind, this is in 2020, so it was in COVID time. So I was going through my pregnancy by myself. Obviously, my parents' support is amazing, but being a single mom is hard. So I started just documenting my life in TikTok. Keep in mind, Reels hadn't started yet. Reels started like in August of 2020. So in the beginning of COVID, I started just documenting my journey. The postpartum, not the postpartum, but just the journey of like how I'm gonna prepare for postpartum, the birth bag, the hospital I was gonna go to, the journey of being a single mom. So I was just being raw and authentic with everything that has to do with being a mom and going through that journey. And then Reels started in August. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna transition all of my videos and post them on Instagram.
Okay.
So once I did that, it was life-changing. And I always say this in my master classes. It's like, don't compare your journey to anyone else's. God has his plan on like when it's your time to shine and when you are ready to showcase. Because when I started posting on Instagram, that's when I got invited to the Reels creator program that they had at the time. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's big. Like,
it was
can
a
I
big
ask
milestone.
So it was all just like lifestyle stuff that led you to that?
Yes, so I was just posting lifestyle content, posting a day in my life, showcasing my pregnancy, my journey when I had my daughter, my postpartum depression, because I had a really intense postpartum depression, and just being raw and authentic. And that's what built my community. That's what got me, I mean, it's a small community, but it got me to, right now I have like 11,000 followers. So I got the recognition through there. And then I just revamped everything. So I cleared everything out. And in that time frame, I rekindled with a really close friend of mine, which we're super close till this day. And she was like, girl, what are you doing? Like, we need to hang out. Like, I need to know what's going on. Like, you are doing amazing. You're posting consistently. Like, let's strategize. Let's collaborate in something. And we collaborated in doing some services, like social media services. Okay. And that same day that we were there, this random guy at the coffee shop, and I always like to say, it's all about how you present yourself, the energy that you bring into everywhere, wherever you're at, it aligns you with the right people at the right time. Yeah. This guy comes up to us and he's like, hey, because he's hearing our conversation, he's like, so you guys do digital marketing? Like, do you guys know about e-com? And I didn't even know at the time what e-commerce meant. I'm like, yeah. We were like, fake it till you make it. We're like, yeah, we know what we're doing. He's like, amazing. Like, you guys have your own agency? And we're like, yeah. We're barely strategizing that day to build something. Yeah. He's like, nice. I just came from Arizona. I have an agency over there. It's all remote. He's like, I'm looking for 2 project managers. You guys want to work for me?
Oh, that's sick.
And we're like, let's do it. We walk out of there. We're like, what did we just get into? Like, we didn't know what we were doing. So that same day I got home, started Googling a bunch of stuff, learning. He hired us. And 2 weeks in, he's like, you guys don't know what you guys are doing, huh? Like, and I mean, it's his fault for hiring us with no experience. So I was like, hey, really.
Did he understand? Like, well, like, damn, that's wild. That's
it's
insane.
So insane. It just dropped like a on the gold plate, on the gold platter. So, he trained us. We were like, we're willing to work for free. Like, we wanted to shadow him. I was gonna ask,
like, was there any sort of like pushback where you guys be like, hey, like, you guys got to go? Like, what's going on?
We are willing to learn. So that's what he wanted. He wanted people that are driven and that are willing to deliver. So we were like, we will do anything. We're willing to learn. So we shadowed him for like 3 months. And that was literally the point where my life shifted, because at that time frame now, I was working as a cashier at a restaurant, and I was working remotely as a medical interpreter still.
Wait, hold on.
Let's go. Let's go back.
You were doing a cashier. You were raising your only child. Like, that's fucking wild.
I know.
That's
I know.
insane.
We pushed through. I mean, nothing is impossible.
Yeah.
I don't like complaining, so it's just about being able to, like we said, you start from the ground, and you have to be grateful of all the lessons that you have in life, because they're training you and molding you to something bigger.
Yeah.
So the fact that I was able to multitask all of that was because, first and foremost, I leave everything in God's hands. I know that if I'm willing to do it, it's because I'm capable of doing it.
Yeah.
So, I was doing, I was working as a cashier, working from home, and I was raising a child too. So we were working from there, but we started from the beginning. We started from janitors, cleaning the restrooms, so to speak. Learned the art of graphic design. We learned how to create websites, how to create the back end of systemizing email and SMS marketing. Yeah. We learned just so much from the digital marketing aspect of things that it allowed us to become project managers. So we worked there for like in a year. She was managing her own clients, and I was managing my own clients with my team. Where it got to the point where I was like, you know what? I build confidence, I build expertise. I'm like, I can do this by myself. I can do this on my own, because my heart has always been leaning towards social media marketing, and it's a little bit different from digital. So I was like, hey, I've acquired the.
Can you describe to me how that is different than digital? And so, were you still working under him and like doing this for his clients at that point?
At that point, I was like, hey, we should implement social media marketing.
Okay.
I'm like, I can do it. I can create the content or edit or manage their platforms.
Yeah.
But it was still like an idea floating, because we would only focus on digital marketing.
So that's what I'm trying to ask the question of, like, what's the difference between digital marketing and social media marketing? Like, are we thinking like digital marketing is more like ad spaces and like TV commercials and things, and social media is
it's a good question that a lot of people ask. Not a lot of people know. I would summarize it in saying like digital marketing is more so like building the back end of your business. So it would include paid ads. It would include creating your website. It would include having a CRM integrated. That's more so for like the back end of the business. Social media marketing is kind of like bringing your business to the front of the line and showcasing your content. It's more so integrating like your SEO in there. It's geofencing it. I don't want to get too geeky, but
that's
digital is more for like your website, your actual. Let's say you have a location, so then a marketing comes and it's like, hey, like what are we using for payment processing? Okay, we're using this. Okay, in your kiosk, there's probably a whole list of people that we can send emails to, and we can go ahead and give them some type of incentive or some type of campaign. There's like just a lot of different services that digital marketing offers, and social media marketing is more like bringing your brand to everyone's face, basically.
I got you.
Yeah. So my heart leans towards social media marketing. I feel like it's more where I can express my creativity. It's where I'm more strong in that industry. So I said, okay, I haven't seen a social media manager that offers both digital and social media marketing. I'm like, why not? I bring in that expertise that I have and offer all services. So in social media marketing services, you can only just offer content creation, managing your platform, creating content, and maybe some paid ads. But digital marketing, I can also offer creating your website, managing that, integrating SEO into your website. I can create email templates. I can do SMS. So it's like I correlate both of them and include something with higher value to my client.
I got you. So like social media is like the what the average Joe can like see, like it's like the facing element, whereas like digital marketing is like it's the funnel that leads to that. It's the whole experience of just like, you get me, you clicked on this ad through social, but now you're getting sent to an email that is all like same look and feel. You don't feel at any point that like, oh wait, am I being hacked or scammed, like type of deal. Everything is cohesive. I got you.
But nowadays, it's so beautiful how technology is evolving, because as we all know, we all use social media for everything. So TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, people are using those more than actual Google to search something up. If you want to search for a product or a service, where do you go to? You're consuming on Instagram, and that's how you find people. So now businesses are like, oh my gosh, we need to be on social media to showcase our services. So it's beautiful how now there's more need of social media managers, because as a business owner, and this is what I love. This is an easy job. Anyone can do it. It's beautiful because everyone's creativity is different. Everyone's eye is different. Everyone's strategies are different. Anyone can do this. It's now more so tailored to target business owners, because they have so many hats that they have to deal with. They have to deal with employees, they have to deal with inventory, with classes, with you name it. So what does a social media manager do? She takes that load off your back and says, okay, you focus on the front end of your business and I focus on the digital end of your business, and I'll be posting and repurposing content and being consistent on that end, and that brings in clients through the digital world. So
no, that is exactly where like I struggle with, like since I've started a business. Like I was telling you before, like I don't come from this world. I didn't even go to school for production. This is all just like school of YouTube University. And you know, I came from the I came from the startup world where, you know, like everything was pretty much just like they focus on product design. I focused on user experience, and like that is very much like how I built out my workflow in terms of like production, focusing on the experiencing, focusing on the fact that like when we're done here, like even if we weren't recording live, like we would still get the benefits of producing something live, and the footage is out. You get me? I see it as like, I see this type of live to tape production as like the future of like a photo booth. You get me? Like you walk into a photo booth, you pose, you do your pictures, you wear your props, and then you walk outside and you collect your film strip. You get me? For me, that's how I see this type of production style, which is like we can trigger all these assets.
I haven't seen this.
Throw this up here, and then at the end, like I can literally just airdrop you this file. But what I was circling around to was the fact that like, as a business owner, like you need to be on social. You need to be and like I've never had that muscle. Like I come from like the MySpace days, and like I don't know, I just never really ever posted about my life on social. Never really thought that anyone would care about, you get me, like what I'm doing. And you know, like 5 years in business, and I'm like realizing that like, look, this is probably one of the reasons why my business isn't growing as fast as I want it to grow. It's because of the fact that like I'm not reminding people that I'm alive. You get me? That I'm
No
still
pun intended.
working and doing these
Yeah.
things. So yeah, I'm inspired by your ability to, take that all in and
Yeah.
come up with strategies for people and make people feel like, it's just a part of what you're doing. And like, I'm trying. Like I want to invest in certain things to make the process easier, whether that is like, capturing BTS or like time lapses of me doing things. And I've done them. I've definitely done them. Like I have files upon files of like me setting up and doing things, but I also get in my head when it comes to like the idea of even posting these things, because like I'm not necessarily working with those clients anymore, and like just that treading that line of like some of my best work, and I'm not doing it anymore for that client because for some reason it went south. But yeah, no, I just wanted to circle the fact that
going back to that, I love what you said, that I always like to think like, what is my motive when I'm posting? And I remember when I had started just showcasing my journey as a single mom, my motive wasn't, oh my gosh, I want to make money, I want to get famous. It was, if I can just inspire one single mom out there to showcase her that, hey, you got this, you're not alone. Like if I can just help that one person, that's my biggest pay. And it evolved to, now I correlate that and I inspire that same motive to my clients. I'm like, okay, I need to know exactly what my client is offering, what is their services, and I put myself in their shoes, right? And I'm like, okay, if we can just inspire just that one person that they're trying to target, that is how, for me, it works, where their content goes viral, they get that client that they actually wanted, because the motive isn't, we need to post, or the motive isn't, oh my gosh, I need to make X amount of money. The motive is, okay, what value are you bringing that we can showcase that? And for example, it's the most unique idea that I have never seen someone do. And it's live. So it's like, this right here is something that you can leverage and use as like, you're competing in the competition, you're outstanding everyone because you have it being live. You can do it as like a podcast. Remember we're talking about, we can showcase this as like a master class where it's like, I have a live event and then at the same time I have a Zoom event. Like for me, this is mind blowing because I don't know anything about how to set this up. So I'm like, wow, if you can showcase more of this type of content and also showcasing your brain, what's going on in Chris's brain, how does he edit, how does he think of like how he would manage this? If you can showcase that to your audience, then you will target like that one person that's like, this is exactly what I needed. Oh my gosh. Then they book with you or something like that. You know what I mean?
No, I definitely get you there. And I feel like we're also like, I don't know. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, I feel like we're getting to a point where like social media, it doesn't all have to be about the numbers. Like you could have someone out there who has, 1,000 subscribers or 2,000 subscribers and like, but they're the right people.
Yes.
You get me? And they have the right offer, and, someone could be a millionaire with just that amount of followers because they're selling the right offer to the right people type of deal. And it's not like the magic of going viral.
Yes.
Can I ask, what is your opinion on like going viral? Like what are the benefits and like negatives of going viral?
I try not to focus too much on the intention of going viral.
Yeah.
If you're going viral, it's because you're being consistent with your posting. I always like to tell my clients and my students, don't focus too much on the followers or the likes, because there's people that have like 1 million followers and they're not even making that much money, and they're probably just making money through like brand deals or sponsoring, right? But then there's people that are micro influencers and they're probably getting low engagement, but they're actually making up to 6 figures on Instagram. So I like to just tell my client, or let's say you, just focus on the value that you are bringing to your audience, and let that, I always say, okay, I can read and feel an energy, and you can also feel it on camera. You can feel when someone's fake, you can feel when someone's just being too generic, and you can feel when someone's really authentic. So if you can show that side of you in the camera and actually give the person value and not gatekeep, then that's what's going to bring the client to come, and that's what's going to increase the engagement, and then that's what's going to lead to having a viral video. Now, there's videos that go viral, and it has its pros and cons, because let's say it was a funny video. So like now people expect you to be at that standard. They expect you to always be funny. And it's like, what if you didn't want to showcase always that type of personality? So if that video went viral, then good. Like that's going to allow people to come into your Instagram or whatever you want them to come into. But mix it up, like showcase that humor, funny side of you, but then also showcase that professional side of you. And then mixing it up will allow that consistency to continue having viral videos. So, yeah.
I think one of my go-to thoughts of when I think of the pros and cons of going viral is the Haithcock girl that just blew up. The girl Haithcock, she's she got caught someone was producing content. They were just doing random interviews with people on the street, and she was talking about this thing. But anyways, it's one of those things where it's now people expect her to be that person all the time, and I feel she's done a good job of pivoting it and trying to drive a business around it. But I feel you get me, it can only take you so far, and I like what you're talking about in terms of if you're consistent with the value that you give out, then that's kind of, you get me, that's the backbone of what holds you up type of deal. And it's not just reliant on this viral moment when you did this thing that was totally out of character. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was wasted on the street, talking. But yeah, that's something that I always think about. So go back, you were working with this guy. I don't want to mention his business or anything, but at what point did you pivot to working on your own? Where did Rose Gold Marketing take place?
Where was that born? Well, at the time, the agency was doing well. We were doing good. It's just now I felt like it was work. I was actually dragging myself, waking up, and it's I was complaining a lot. So I had to analyze myself and be self-aware. It's okay, I'm doing something that I'm not passionate about, which means it's a red flag. It's a sign that it's not where I'm meant to go. So I jumped another leap of fear. It's we're always, as entrepreneurs, we're always jumping leaps of fear. We're always going against the current. We're always stepping into the unknown. So I knew that I was in a very comfortable spot. It wasn't bringing me any more joy. So I said, you know what? I think it's time to pivot. We gave in our notice. I quit. And I had no idea what I did. I was Jess, you're crazy. You have a steady income. You this is what's paying you the bills. This is what's providing for my daughter, for my family. It's what are you doing? And I said, I don't know. My gut feeling was telling me there's something better. There's something greater for you. Just follow your instinct. I already had the skills. So in that same month, I just revamped everything. I'm always revamping. And I always tell this to my clients, revamp. Let's always change it and make it better. Never stay stuck. So I created a name, Rose Gold Marketing.
Was there any inspiration behind that? Was there anything
Honestly, no. It was just I needed something quick, and I liked it. I love pink. I was let's just do Rose Gold Marketing. It sounds nice. It sounds girly girl aesthetic. I don't know. It's just something I came up with. I'm thinking of revamping again. So, came up with the name, came up with the logo, set up my package plans. I already had clients from the agency that I was working with, so I showcased that work because at the time I didn't have that many clients. And my first client, I will always give them so many thanks. The job that I was working for as a cashier, the owner was the same person who said, you know what? you're working with social media marketing, I'll be your first client. Let me give you your first money so that I can help you out with your business.
That's
so
dope.
I quit being a cashier and I came back and I was like, hey everyone,
That's dope.
I'm the social media manager now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I have a similar story where, like, when I quit my job as a UX designer, I winded up producing, and like I was doing things. They winded up becoming my first consistent client from a production standpoint, where we actually produced their Monday morning all hands meetings.
Oh, wow.
So, like, because it was a global company, we had like people in Barcelona, we had people in Poland, we had people on the East Coast, people on the West Coast, and then every Monday they would basically do like an all hands meeting. And my buddy worked for HR, and they knew I was trying to like get to the marketing side, but my buddy in HR was just like, look, I think you can, come work for me here. And we winded up having these really dope like Zoom calls where like there was like intros, there was tickers, we would have like guests come on and like talk to our employees from different backgrounds. And like people would present, have presentations and things like that. So yeah,
You were there at the right time. That's what led you to that. That's
exactly
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, coming back into it was a grocery store, you said?
No, I was working it's a Mexican restaurant.
A Mexican restaurant,
I was working
okay.
as a cashier there, quit my job. Then I was working at the digital marketing full time. Then I quit that.
Yeah,
and then I said, you know what, let's start my own agency. And at the time, I wasn't sure about getting an LLC yet. I was like, let's just try this out. I don't want to get into the legal stuff, but I was like, okay, let's just try this out, work as a 1099 and see where this goes. Because sometimes businesses don't go well, sometimes they do.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to put my eggs all in one basket.
Yeah.
He was my first client. He's like, okay, let me help you out with your business. And that same month, I onboarded 2 more clients.
Okay.
So I was making more money than what I was doing at the digital marketing agency, and I was doing it by myself. And I was
That's
like,
crazy.
It's insane. And so far, it's been 3 years doing it by myself, running my own business. And we learn as we go. I was literally just talking about this with a friend this morning. I was like, I learn from I wouldn't say mistakes, but I'm learning from my actions of like, oh, we're refining this. Oh, we're polishing that. So it's like this year I'm focusing more on the back end of the business.
Okay.
Before I open up the doors again to bring in more clients, we are training. Now I onboarded 1 more employee. So we're training that employee to be like the assistant manager, we could call it. I don't know what's the abbreviation for it, but so that he can be doing the onboarding process now of when I hire a new client, he'll take that part. We're creating new SOPs. We're creating...
What's an SOP again?
So that is basically like when I onboard a employee, they have like a set of guidelines that they have to follow through, or like a set of videos that I create so that they know exactly what to do, how to talk. Like
Essentially your systems, how you... Okay,
Yes. Yeah, so that's what we're doing this year. But so far, I'm extremely grateful. It's been such a beautiful journey. I've been able to work with a lot of women entrepreneurs in San Diego, where I just love to make them feel their absolute best. I am a woman support women. Like I'm all about, if like, let's say a girl was here and like her hair is like all messy or something, let me fix your hair real quick. Like I'm all about like making that person shine as well. I don't like putting other women down or like talking behind their back. It's a scary world out here, especially being a woman. Girls are mean, so I like to be the total opposite of that. I'm like a golden retriever. I'm like, hey, let's hang out. But anyways, that is how I transmit my energy to my clients. So when I'm talking to a woman, like I can feel their confidence. So I love to portray that side of them into the digital world, because once you get the camera out, like they get shy or like they don't know how to do it. So I'm there every step of the way. I'm like, come on, like I hold your hand and I'm like, let's go and let me showcase the most beautiful side of your expertise, your services, or your product.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny that you talk about women, because like I think when we were on our call, like I was talking about the idea of like niching down, And like, and I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but like, it seems like the more you niche down in terms of who you're talking to, the better it turns out for your business. It's like if you try to serve everyone, you wind up serving no one.
Yes.
But you get me, if you try to talk to one specific person,
Yes.
then you get me,
Yes.
you find more success there.
And I've turned down a lot of business due to that because
Yeah.
I'm not here for the motive of money. I'm not here to do business with everyone. I'm here to do business with people that believe in what I believe in. And same thing with your friends. You know, it's like that saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. I believe that that goes hand in hand with your business. Tell me who your clients are and I'll tell you what type of business you have. You know, it's like that your business is your reputation. It represents who you are. So, and then we were talking about that this year we're going to be doing business with people that believe in what we believe, that people that are also, I want to ask you, who do you want to work with this year?
Yeah, like, so for me, like, my goal is to work with specific like businesses that either entrepreneurs, coaches, people that have a product or service. I feel like throughout the first 5 years of me doing this business, like I attracted a lot of personalities, a lot of people that just wanted to go viral, just wanted to get drunk on camera, or you get me, just be themselves. And I just come to learn that like it doesn't add up. You get me? Like knowing everything that I can do, especially like with all the past projects that I've done for people in the past. Like I've given some people their own sports center, like equivalent of a show, where like I'm preparing assets before the show. You get me, like grabbing clips from, you get me, a recent event, whether that's a sporting event or you know, football game, a baseball game, a fight, and like as they're talking, like I'm showing tickers and things like that on screen. And like, but the truth is like when you work with people where it's just focused on personality, like they don't pick up the slack in terms of like pushing the content. Like I was doing all this long form content and, you know, setting people up. Like my whole selling factor was the fact that like I can get your long form out there that much faster so that you can thus squeeze the juice out of it and push the short form out there. And I think I was telling you before, it was just like I felt like I was dropping the ball or leaving money on the table by not offering micro content or not offering all these other things. But the truth is like I see those as like different specialties, and now I'm actually like getting to the point where I'm building pieces of my team where we can do that for people. And it's not me saying that I'm going to do it all, but like my specialty here in terms of long form content production, and then I have a team that can take this and squeeze the juice out of it. I mean, like the idea, I would love to, you know, work with you on projects, because like, I mean, it's like a 1-2 punch, like everything just kind of complements itself. So yeah, that I'm still trying to figure out, like, when it comes to the niche, I would like to have like a title. I would like to have like, I'm looking for XYZ person, XYZ age that does, you get me? But I haven't gotten there yet. Right now, like with just having my first kid, I kind of got like scared. I had a scarcity mindset. And I kind of went back to, you get me, the workforce. And then I learned really quickly and really hard that like, I don't love it. That's why I left it for a reason in the first place. How
old is your son?
He is, I want to say, 1 year and 5 months now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's going to go by so fast. My daughter's 4. She just turned 4.
Oh, wow.
So it's like in the same time frame where they're running around and you're like, trying to manage everything all at once.
No, I mean, like, I love him. He's just so, he's so gooey.
Amazing, huh? They're a blessing.
Yeah.
Kids are a blessing. They bring joy to the house. And it takes a village to raise them. If it wasn't for my parents and my support system, I wouldn't be here, so.
And much props to your support system for that. Like, that's something I'm definitely, you get me, looking for. I want to build a community around, you know, my kid. And that's the reason why, like, I moved out to San Diego, is to, like, start some sort of community.
Yes. I'm so glad you reached out. By the way, I will do the short form content for you, but I need your help. It's funny, now I want to transition to YouTube. I want to transition to creating long form content, because I love doing in-person trainings where, or coaching calls where I teach my students like how to market for themselves or how to just structure and get organized with building content, because a lot of us get overwhelmed and they don't have the right structure.
Yeah.
So I want to be able to build that type of content and showcase it on YouTube. And the goal, which we all say, like, I want to start a podcast, but I want to start something like maybe the end of the year, because there's so many projects down the line for this year. But starting a podcast is one in the books. So I need your help with that.
Yeah, I'm all for it. For me, like what I love about like the long form space is like there's so much room for creativity. Like what I like to do from like a production standpoint is I like to really sit down with people and figure out like how can we make because I like to call them shows. Like a podcast is just people talking to one another, and like how can I like help you design a show around, you get me, what the value is that you're trying to do. Like what is the business goal? Like you want people to like come in here and actually, book a discovery call with you and like do things with you. All right, let's build a show around that. Let's take advantage of, the in-person things you're already doing and kind of make a show out of that. Like there was someone that I wanted to work with, her name is Nadia, she's a dietitian, and I've been trying to get her to like, let's do a show where you call your clients and you FaceTime them, we'll get it on the scene, and you do a refrigerator like report card. You get me? Where it's like, show me your fridge right now. You don't got time to like hide all the bad shit. Like, let's
be
do
real.
it.
Just showcase it all. I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean by like, going a step beyond. Like, I love shows where people can get a unique perspective out of someone. Like, I think like everyone knows like Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan has built himself as a space to like, he's not going to question you. Like he's not a specialist in anything. I mean, he's going to let you go on there and talk your shit. You get me? Yeah. Whereas like Hot Ones, for instance, the one where they eat spicy wings.
I love that one. Yes.
I love that show because you're always going to get out of it like you're going to see the people that you love and adore in the most uncomfortable position possible, where it's like, who are they really? You get me? Because like you can be someone in front of the camera, but like when you got Scovilles going through you, like it all leaves you, and then your real personality shines out. You get me? So yeah, I'm a big practitioner of like, how can I help people design shows where like we can bring something unique out of the guests that they have on those shows. Because like the beauty of having a long form podcast is the fact that like it's a way for you to get content, and you don't even have to be the star the whole time. You don't have to talk. You get me? Like I'm just asking questions, and like, do you get me? Like you're the star right now. The pedestal's for you.
We both are.
But yeah, like how can you get a unique perspective out of someone so that guests start to seek you out to get that perspective out while promoting what it is they're promoting, whether that's a movie or something that they're going to be on. So, yeah.
Well, this is a perfect way for us to start. Yeah. And we're doing it live, so this is insane because I can't. I'm like, no, wait, cut that, edit that. No, we're going all in here.
No, there's no takebacks. I mean, right now I've been low key freaking out because like I'm hoping that I plugged in my battery pack to that camera. Like I'm like got my old things going in.
You did?
I hope I did, but I mean, if not, then it's running on its internal battery.
It's okay. At least we got all the juicy parts.
I can always hit my be right back soon scene. I have a little BRB scene here.
Oh, nice.
Just in case and like everything goes muted. Nice. But I think I'm good because like I have my fail safes up.
Yeah,
but yeah, let's get into rose gold marketing. While you're talking about it, I did want to throw up a link here to your stand page.
My stand store.
So
my goodness.
If you guys are interested in working with Jessalyn, you would
book right
pause
now.
that, go there. I'm also gonna have links in the description. But so like, who like we were just talking about niches, and you were talking about female entrepreneurs. Is it safe to say that female entrepreneurs are your niche in terms of like who you seek to work with?
So we started with that niche. I like to say niche. I don't know.
What's
the right word? Niche? Niche? Like
I think it's
I'm like
tomato.
Yeah. Okay. So My niche starting the business 3 years ago was solely female entrepreneurs, and there's a moral standpoint towards that. But this year we're doing a little bit of expansion, so I'm like, okay, we're open to anyone that's.
Is that why you like expanded the team? Like, did you expand the team in order to be able to attract more people?
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Awesome.
That's the main goal there. But wait, what was the question? I'm so
No,
lost right now.
I was asking if like females were your niche,
Oh, yes,
and you were
yes.
getting into like what you're expanding to now.
Females are my niche. I've gotten a lot of experience working with the beauty industry a lot and the wellness industry. It's my forte, I would say. I love that niche. It's like, it doesn't feel like work. I'm like, I wake up and it's like I'm going to Disneyland or something.
Yeah.
But I would say that that's where I like to work in. Right now, I'm expanding into the real estate industry, which is something new for me because here's the thing. For me and my services, I could, and I do bring video production or photography, but basically I'm the one that comes and just takes content with my phone. So I'm like very open about it. I'm like, hey guys, like we don't got the whole nice bougie gear over here. We're just trying to be consistent. That's the goal. It's just like people sometimes do care about how the aesthetic viewpoint is, but sometimes people don't really care about that. They just care of like, what value are you bringing in? What are we talking about? What are you offering me? So now with these phones, 15, 16, like you can take content here and it looks extremely good, the same type of quality as a camera. So
yeah, it's crazy how far we've come from that.
Yeah.
Question, do you think, because like I feel like I've seen like metrics somewhere that show that like some brands actually prefer people create content with their phones. Like
Yes.
there's something that happens to like, especially with AI and everything happening now, like overproduced content can get skipped really quickly, where like people like, we get it, okay, cool, you got money, you got things like, and they're more often to like land on something where it feels like it's them. Like I think a trend on YouTube as of late has been like vlogs where like there's no production quality at all. Like smaller channels are blowing up and it's just like dudes coming home from the gym, just like camera on the dashboard, just like talking their stuff. You get me?
And it's being prioritized more on Instagram, TikTok, because you got to think of it. It's like, who is the demographic that you're targeting? And if you're bringing in like very high-end quality content, the other person, if you're trying to inspire, it's not going to inspire. It's going to go the opposite. It's going to make them feel like, oh my gosh, well, I don't have that type of expertise, or I don't have that type of money to invest in that. So if they are just seeing you post consistently with just your camera content, they're going to be like, well, I could do that too. And it prompts them to either book a call with you so that they learn, or it's like they prompt whatever industry that you're in, it just prompts them to take the next step, which is getting to know who you are. So if we can do that and continue pushing that type of content, I think it's a personal opinion, right? But I think it's better. And from what I've been seeing a lot on TikTok is that a lot of these women that have 6 to 7 figure businesses are just sitting in their car posting content, just talking. And that's what I was telling you about. Like if you can just showcase what's going on in your head, everyone's brain is different, everyone's eye is different. So just showcasing that on camera, showcasing that side of you is what's going to bring in more value than having a whole production team and having it's pointless. It's a waste of time. I think us as micro influencers, it's best to start off just posting the content, no matter if it's perfect, messier the better, and then later down the road, once you grow and start acquiring more money, then invest in nice production team or a nice camera, you know?
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? So I want to do those things, but like right now I'm the only one like taking care of my son for the most part. So like I don't always have gigs. I don't always and there are some days where like I can't even work on the business. Like what's your opinion on like, because I am sitting on a backlog of like, things that I've recorded that I never posted. You get me? Like BTS shots of me just going from camera to camera. Like I don't know, like should I just be like talking out loud, like just recording myself and like the things I want to do. I think like for me, like what I've tried to been focused on this year is like just everything is live. Like I'm no longer ever going to edit anything because I value editing. I value having videographers on my team that can, you know, chop up long form content and like, you know, make it, you know, so it's attention grabby. But for me, I want to put more emphasis and focus on the fact that like everything I do is live to tape. And that's been, you know what I mean, something I'm trying to do on all aspects. Like I think you inspired me to like split up my YouTube channel. Now, you know, Copy and Steal lives in its own space. A live studio lives in its own thing. And then even with a live studio, like everything I'm doing over there. So like I'm going to be doing tutorials and things of that, like how I use the software that I use, Ecamm. And it's all going to be live. Nothing is going to be overthought or edited. And like I'm starting to like gather some ideas on Notion and just like lay everything out so that whenever I have the time, baby's taking a nap, I can just go to this list of just like, okay, cool, I can talk about lower thirds today. Let's just go live and talk about lower thirds today. Forget what I was like leading to with this question, but like, what is your best advice for someone in my shoes where it's like, let's say you're just starting out business or like you're just coming back to business and there's not a lot of business, there's not a lot to capture from that, like just getting out there, like what would be the best place to start?
Okay. So I'm hearing two questions here.
Yeah.
First question is like how to structure it, right? Especially with kids, if you're a business owner with kids. I live off my calendars. Like if I don't have my calendars, I don't know what I'm doing. So I have a calendar for my day-to-day life, personal life, bills. I have a calendar for my clients. Each and every client has a different calendar. And then I have a calendar where everything's kind of like all meshed together, like all of my meetings, my strategy calls, masterclass, content days, it's all meshed. So advice that I would give you is kind of like structure how your day-to-day life looks like and what days can you, or how many hours in the day can you invest in either learning or taking content or just trying to focus on investing into that business, right? Because obviously we have priorities like our kids. Step 2 is all of the ideas that you have, like you want to showcase more of like what your thoughts are. You want to showcase that personality side of you. I say showcase all of it, but structure it. So be intentional when you're structuring your content calendar. There's pillars, obviously, the educational content, the lifestyle content, the behind the scenes content. There's also content pillars for the personality that we have. You know, you want to structure showcasing the funny side of you in one video. And then another video, you want to showcase the professional side of you where you're showcasing, like, let's say you're editing some type of content showcasing how we do it. So you said you're using Notion?
Yeah, I just started to use Notion. Like we've tried everything from like there's so many tools out there you can use. ClickUp, Asana, like Monday. Like there's so many things. I went back to Notion because my partner she's partnered with me on the business and she likes to handle those sides of things. So we have like HoneyBook set up. That's where like most of our stuff is set up from a funnel perspective. But yeah, she's always liked Notion. I've used Notion in the past when it comes to like UX and working that way. So I was just like, cool, like it seems like you can really make it your own. So yeah, I just started to like, I created a table and I like, you know, I had title, description. Well, it's like video idea and then a space for title, description. I have a space for like hashtags, a space for, I think what I recently just added was a space for like a LinkedIn post. And basically I just talk to like, before I go live on an idea, I would just talk to ChatGPT, like tell it what the idea is, what I want to do, get the title out of there, get the description out of there, and then, you know, I'll create a quick thumbnail and then go live immediately because I only have 20 or so minutes.
I'll circle back to that, but I do offer like a coaching call and my 4-day intensive as well, where I teach you how to structure yourself and how to get organized. So I build it out for my student, but for you, I'll teach you after this. I would suggest you have in your Notion, you have 2 files. So you have your content calendar, and then you have another file where you have everything in there, which is like your SEO, you have your hashtags, You have
you're talking nonsense to me when it comes to SEO
but
and stuff like that.
it's keeping everything organized at the end of the day, because then the ball just flows. It's so easy to continue being consistent. That's why people don't stay consistent, because they don't have a calendar. They're not organized.
Yeah.
So I would schedule out, okay, this day I can take content, right? And you have already set in your calendar all of the content that you're going to post a month in advance, or let's say 2 weeks in advance. And you have, okay, this day, Monday, I'm going to post my educational content. Tuesday, I'm going to post a day in my life. Wednesday, I'm going to post a short clip of this podcast, right? And then you're like, okay, when can I batch all of this content? Because that's how I do it for myself and for my clients. I'll batch 2 weeks worth of content. You set that day, you say, okay, I'm going to invest like 4 or 5 hours. You write down, I like to write down every little detail. Like, I'm going to bring 5 outfits. I'm going to book X amount of models. I'm going to bring photographer at this time. So it's like you have everything all in one day. And then the next week, once you're done filming content or batching content, then you just focus on the editing. Some people love to edit. Some people don't know how to edit. So I also teach you how to edit. Or if, let's say, you're a business owner, you can hire someone to edit it for you. So there's a lot of ways. I always say just have everything written down in a calendar, so you could see like the third point of view of how you're going to be able to manage that. Now, for someone that's barely beginning, and they, like, let's say I've had situations where social media managers come to me, they're like, well, I don't have any clients. Like, how am I going to showcase my work if it's like I don't have any work? I was like, okay, showcase your brain. Showcase what you would do for a company. So I will say, like, okay, show me a before, show me the current website of a makeup company, and then show me the after of what you would do if you would work with them. And that just showcases like, oh wow, this girl has potential. Like, you know what, I'm gonna hire her to have me work for me.
That
So
also leads to like, you could use that work to potentially pitch that person.
that also you can pitch them. No, there's so many ways that you can showcase your work when you're starting. I think it's easier when you're starting because you have so many ideas flowing, so much creativity, that once you start working with people, it gets more restrictive. Now I'm like, I don't even have time to post for myself. I'm tired by the time I'm like trying to nurture my account. So I always say go hard when you're barely starting, because that's when you have more time.
So I definitely, I see we're getting close to an hour here. I wanted to showcase some of the past work you've done for clients. I'm gonna hand you my phone.
Okay.
And I mean, we can either walk through either your page itself. I know we also have Marianne and Mo. So I'm gonna give you my phone right now. Okay. I'm gonna trigger the phone here.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're seeing this right
so,
now.
just tell me a little bit of like, what matters when you land on a social page in the first place? Like what,
Ooh, I love this question.
Like what do I need to worry about when like looking at a page first?
So because I do have a background in digital marketing and I know how to create websites, I always like to tell my clients, think of your Instagram like your one-stop shop. This is your website. Yeah. So it has to look organized, it has to look clean, and it has to kind of showcase what it is that you're offering. Now this has its pros and cons. For my micro influencers, I've noticed that it does well when your account isn't too perfect. But when you're like a more bigger account, like let's say, for example, Rode company, it's a beauty company. Hailey Bieber's account is like super clean, it's super aesthetic, but it goes well with her because she already has that level of recognition. Someone that does that as a micro influencer and tries to keep it too clean and too perfect, for me, it just looks too stocky. It doesn't look welcoming. I'm like, oh, like it just looks like you tried too hard. So for this example, I don't know if we can showcase that it's moving. I'm like trying to move the screen.
Try to find here.
Let me see.
Problem solving, figuring out as we go. Oh, there we go. Sweet.
Oh, there we go. Perfect. Yeah.
I will say, like one thing I noticed about your grid is like, even as you scroll down through it, like it kind of all looks like it comes from the same place. There's like
Yes.
there's
So
a color
I
background. You can tell that you go through eras, like you had like a black and white era there.
Oh yeah, and I own up to it. Like I love making mistakes because I learned from this. Like I've tried so many different things and I've revamped my account so many times. Like I've had content here that I've deleted and I don't think I will ever post again. But I even tried the whole feed of like having it just a bunch of collaborations. Then I tried, a bunch of text on screen carousels. And then I noticed, oh wait, it has to be all one font. Like, oops, messed up there. Okay, continue. Like I'm not gonna give up.
Yeah.
And
You're
then
not
I was
gonna go
like,
delete it.
exactly.
I get you.
And I was like, okay, let me try the black and white content, type of content. I was like, it looks too, for me now, I was like, it's too sad. So then I was like, okay, let me try red. And then I changed to blue. And like, I've just been trying new things as we go. But it works well for me because like my community sees this and they're always like getting inspired or they're getting ideas as well. One of my clients, let me show you her.
I'll take it down. If you swipe up on the thing, in my notes I have.
Perfect. Nice.
Let me know when you got it pulled up.
I got it. Yes. One of my clients, her name is Marianne. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. I respect her grind.
Bro, she's out there busting her ass, bro.
16, 17 hours a day, Sunday to Sunday for the past 10 years.
That's wild.
She's been in the game for 10 years, and I'm like, she's my inspiration. I love the way her work ethic, the way how she grinds, and it's very, very motivational for sure. So she is a makeup artist, brow artist, and she also has her own clothing line, or not clothing line, it's like more of like accessories and shoes that she sells as well. And when we met, it's funny, when we met, she was barely she's been in the game for a long time, but she was telling me about her future goals, which was expanding into having her own studio. And I was like, girl, you can do this. Like the moment we met, she booked a consultation, we met in person, instant click. Like you could feel the energy. We were like meant to work together and we became really good friends. Till this day, we're really good friends. At the time, she was like, I'm thinking of expanding. I'm looking for a place to have my own makeup studio and this and that. Fast forward 2 years later, now she's like one of the top well-known makeup artists in San Diego. She's booked and busy. She has a whole set of employees.
She did makeup for like Phase Rug the other day or something that.
Yeah, she got that.
That was dope. When I saw her do that, I was like, dog, that's amazing.
No, she's consistent with it, and that's what gets her ahead of the game. Which, at her level, now she's like, okay, it's too many hats that I'm like, we talked about a business owner handling so many hats. She's like, I need a social media manager to take over. And it's funny because at the time I didn't know much about, I'm a very minimalistic girl. I don't like to put that much makeup, so I don't follow that many makeup influencers. Yeah. My best friend at the time, she was like, look, Marianne posted a story that she needs a social media manager. I didn't know who she was. I'm like, who is this girl? I was like, okay, just shoot my shot, sent her a message. I was like, probably I'm not going to get you an answer back. That same week when we met up, she's like, I need you. Like, we fell in love. So now I manage all of her accounts. So I manage her makeup account. Let me see. There we go. I manage her makeup account, her brow account.
Are you scrolling?
Oh, no. Let's go into there. So her makeup account, so 2 years ago, she had a lot of just like.
So when you say you manage, are you the one capturing this, or have you like consulted her to the point where like she's doing this without your help now?
No, so I have access to my clients, and this goes to every client. I have access to their Instagram account, so I go to their location. I create the content, so I would create all of the content.
So that clip that I saw, because there's a clip that I love of yours where it's like funny, where you're like, what a social media marketer does, and you're like, someone's like cooking, and you're like, let me get in here really quick.
That's
like,
literally what I do. I'll step in there and be like, all right, I'm here.
I get you.
And I'll take the content, go to my location, edit it, and then I'll post it for you. And then some clients are comfortable with me talking to the customers or the DMs, and some aren't. It just it depends. It depends on the client. Yeah, but I'll also like reply to her I don't think I should say this, but yes, I'll manage everything in the social media.
Yeah.
So I've managed this account, where is it? The brow account. And I have to get to know the client and like who they are, how they want to present themselves, what they want to offer and how they want to offer it. And I have to like kind of become them and be like, okay, if I was Marianne, like how would I want to showcase this person or that product? And so far, we've done really well in showcasing things. We've gotten to 1 million impressions and a lot of leads coming from TikTok, new clients coming in. They're like, and I always ask, where did you find her? How did you book? Oh, we found her through TikTok. And then they get into the rabbit hole of coming into her Instagram. So I've made her Instagram where it's like a one-stop shop. Like you can come in and it's like, oh, what is this? Like, oh, she also offers a masterclass. Oh, actually, I want to learn how to do makeup like her. So she offers a 7 week or 8 week makeup course.
Yeah.
So it's like she has all of these services and we've structured it to be organized so that when the person comes, their eye appeals to that, or they want to see, oh, actually, let me book with her because I want to get my makeup done like that. Yeah. Where I was going with this, her content, she didn't want it to be too clean and too perfect. So we've tried to mimic it to be a little bit messy, where it's like we just, like, for example, like we're just throwing in that type of content in there, but it's done well. And most of her videos are all viral. Like if you can see, we've gotten 17K, 22, 18K, 1 million views in this one. So it's just, we've been doing extremely well, and I think it's just going to continue to grow from there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's a really beautiful success story, just seeing their growth in the digital world. It's like I've already seen this in person, and when people tell me their ideas, I'm like, it's already written, you're gonna get there. But just actually seeing the fruition of the work that we put in, it's beautiful, because you cannot do it by yourself. Same with kids, it takes a village to raise a child. Same with your business, it takes a village, it takes a team, and when you're on that same journey and you're thinking the same way, it's like, and you have the same energy, and you want the best for each other, you succeed. Like it's the best. Let me show you the other one. Oh, you put it down? Nice.
Just so you.
Oh, my beautiful Monique. I love her. Okay, so Monique, that's a funny story. She found me through Instagram. Same thing. She just searched up San Diego social media manager, and I popped up. She contacted me. She wanted to book a consultation, and it's funny because at the time I was booked with a lot of clients. So I was like, I cannot take another client. Yeah. And I was gonna hop on this call with her and turn her down. I was gonna tell her, you know what, so sorry, like we're not gonna be able to work together. And the moment we hopped on that call, I don't know what she put in this call, where I was just hypnotized the whole time because her tone of voice. She's in the wellness community, so when we started talking, she's like, "Hi, how are?" I'm like, it's like,
It
I
reminds
was
me
like,
of the. Have you seen those commercials during like they did commercials during like the Super Bowl or during like sporting events where like it was like for a migraine medication, but it was like ASMR, and she's like,
she has that type of voice where it's like, it's very soothing, very calm, and I'm the total opposite. I'm so hyper, I'm like super energetic. So it worked well. Her and I are like yin and yang. It's like we complement each other because I have so many ideas. I'm very like, let's do this, and she's like, yeah, let's take our time, let's be present. And I'm like, it's like I needed this type of client. And like I said, I don't like to work with everyone. I like to work with people that believe in what I believe in. So the moment I hopped on that call, I was like, I have to be honest with you, I was gonna turn you down, but actually you and we need to work. Yeah. To the point where these clients have turned into friendships. Now we've been together for like a year and a half. A little backstory on her. She's a mom of an autistic child, and she's very well known in the autism community. She's taught me a lot of how to say this. So in her community, she collaborates with a lot of nonprofit organizations where she does live events, she talks, or she showcases a lot of her family and her journey of raising a child that is autistic.
Yeah.
So she just needed the structure of how to do it, because she was all over the place and she had so many goals. So I'm like, okay, let's start baby steps, always baby steps. Let's just start with setting up the foundation, the platform, and then we'll start achieving those goals. And she is a go-getter. Like, she's, at the end of the day, these clients, they have achieved all of this by themselves, and this is goals that they've already written down and it came into fruition.
Yeah.
But there's always like that team, and then I'm in that team where it's like I'm rooting for them in the back end. I'm like, you got this, girl.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm helping them structure it to get to that point. To the point where when we would get on calls, her visions was always like, oh, I want to have an office. Oh my gosh, I want to be able to inspire other women. I want to be able to be on live news where they can interview me. We achieved everything. She has her office now. She does one-on-one coaching calls. She targets now everyone in any industry. So you could be a wife, you could be a stay-at-home mom, you could be a mother of an autistic child. She'll talk with a one-on-one. She does a wellness assessment. I don't know exactly much of the services she offers, but she goes in depth to the point where she got so much recognition that Fox 5 News was like, we need you live. We need to interview you. Like, who are you and what is it that you do? And she's like, she always tells me, it's because of you, Jess, that I was there. I'm like, no, it was because of you.
Yeah.
It's a teamwork. We put two brains together and we just go after what the client needs.
Yeah.
So those are my two little success stories that I wanted to share here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I did want to take a time to, like, if at any point during this, like, you were just like, all right, like, I'm sold. I need to book a discovery call with this girl right now. Now's the time to do so.
Yes.
This is
The
a
QR code's right
direct
there. You better
link
scan right now.
You can scan that. It'll put time on her calendar so she can talk to you and help you take your business to that next level.
Yes. Even if you just want some information on, like, okay, what do I need to do? Or I want to start a business. I love talking to my girls that are interested in starting a business. They have no structure, no guidance. I also offer that as like a one-on-one. We go over like what are the procedures, and I kind of organize everything for them.
Oh, wow.
I also offer my 4-day intensive training, and this is targeted to anyone. If you have a business, I'll teach you. If you don't have the funds right now to invest in a marketing agency, then I'll teach you how to market yourself in the meantime until you can get the funds to invest in someone else, right?
Oh, yeah.
I also teach social media managers how to polish their skills and how to target high-ticket clients. I just had a student of mine graduate, and in that same week, she already onboarded 2 new clients into her marketing agency. So I'm so happy. I always want to see everyone succeed. I'm hosting a networking event party in April 7th. You're invited. And it's going to be for all of my San Diego entrepreneurs to just come in, talk about what they do, and just have exposure. I'm going to be implementing a little bit of content marketing strategies that everyone needs to put in place. I'm going to have a guest speaker talk about paid ads, because right now that is the way to land your clients.
I've been hearing about that.
Yes.
I've been scared to like hop into it because like I feel like I like if they don't know who you are, then like what does it even matter? But like I know there's a way in which you can come at it strategically, whether it's like showcasing the value first, even if they don't know who you are, type of deal. But yeah, that's something I definitely want to put more investments in, just because I can't keep focusing on word of mouth. You get me?
Well, it's going to be perfect for you, and for all of us that are interested in that. I'm even learning about that right now, about paid ads.
So what date is that, and will that be something on your stand as well? That
yes, it's going to be in this. We're working on that this week. It's on high demand right now. So that will be for April 7th. It's going to be a Monday from 6 to 9 p.m.
Awesome.
But yes, I'll be handing out the flyers soon so everyone can tune in.
Dope. Well, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much for having me here.
And talk about your life, talk about your process. I guess I gave you your time to sign off. I'll just do your social. This is Jessalyn again. You can follow her.
Thank you for everyone who
Jessalyn.
tuned in, and thank you so much, Chris. It's so lovely to meet you in person. The same way how he is on camera, he is like this behind the scenes. So it's a pleasure having this opportunity. It's I can't wait to continue working with you.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Yeah,
big goals
likewise.
to
Likewise.
collaborate with, and yeah, if you guys need any type of live content, he's your guy.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys all for joining me on this episode of How to Copy and Steal. I always feel like I'm putting this together as I'm like doing it. We're building the plane as we're flying. But yeah, if you guys, like she said, if you're interested, you can head over to bookalivestudio.com. I focus on live to tape production, so it could be live streaming. It could be a master class that you're trying to, squeeze the juice out of and get, more revenue from like Zoom sales and getting digital butts and seats, all the way to just basic podcasts and doing shows. So yeah, if you're interested, bookalivestudio.com. And with all that said, thank you so much for joining both Jess and me on this episode, and we will see you in another one. Peace, everybody.
Bye.